I like Even here, Francis.
Can I ask you a question, Susan?
Yeah, sure.
Is it safe to say then that people who are very active on Twitter or want to be very serious about establishing a following and connecting with other people, they're going to fill out that information that you just talked about, right? And they're going to have a picture of themselves, who they are. They're going to have their about section right on the front page, part of their profile, so that basically as soon as you click on their profile, you're going to know a lot about them quite easily. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So if we look at Stacey, and she's got the unicorn fairy, I mean, that's funny and it's cute. But what you've got for me is a lifestyle and parent blogger. Now, I write children's books, and I'm at the moment building a following about helping grandparents connect with their children, which I found is it's something I'm really quite passionate about. So she's obviously somebody I would like to write for. So if she comes back, she'll get my direct message. If she comes back to me and said, yeah, I'm really interested, Sue, I'm happy to have you on as a guest, then I usually ask her, is there anything you'd like me to write about? And if she says no, I'll go to her website and I'll find a thread, I'll find a theme that she hasn't touched on, but what is relative, and I will send her the article. Then it's fingers crossed that she publishes it, but most people are pretty good. So that's somebody I'm looking for. And same with the girl in the middle. She's got Nilly. I can't really see her face, but it looks like photos, a home photo. People love home stuff, yeah. And she's got wife and she's a mummy. She's also a speech and language therapist. I'm not really interested in fashion or beauty. That's her thing, which is pretty cool. But it's not, something. And the other girl here, we've got Olive Anon. She's new at blogging, but she wants to connect with fellow bloggers. Well, she's my girl, So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. So I'm being quite specific. I don't think there's a gender difference between men and women about who shares more. I think it's just basically, why are they out there? There's a lot of people out there to multi-level market. They want to sell. But there's also people out there who want to share an experience. That's good, yeah. So any questions at all? I could just sit here and go through this all day. I'll probably follow this girl here because she's got a picture of a cat.
Right on. No, that's a good kitty. Look at that boy.
Yeah, look at that pose.
Yeah. Great cat. No, you can keep talking. This is great. If anyone has any questions, put it in the chat and we'll get to them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or chime in.
Question. I do have a question. Even though I worked for you for a little bit, I do want to ask, how many people should I follow a day if I'm new?
Right.
And then as I get experienced, how many should I follow later? Because I remember one account, I would log in literally at work, and I'm like, I'm on lunch break. Follow. And I'm like, I have a meeting in 15 minutes. Then I go, okay, I can follow 50 more people.
Yeah, absolutely. If you use an app like Crowdfire, they will, and it's free. Any free, they're usually limited. I think we discovered yesterday, Chris, that it's 100 people you can follow.
Yes, 100 a day, and you can unfollow. I think it's 100 you can follow and 100 you can unfollow in one day.
So I use Crowdfire, but what I do is I follow on Twitter. Normally I would do it on my phone, like you say.
Do you want to show people what Crowdfire is, Susan? When you're done with this? Oh yeah, it's a mobile app. That's right. Yeah, you can go on your Play Store and get it and connect all your accounts and stuff.
Really awesome. But what I want to say is, because if you're going to use the free option and you're limited by how much you can do, you need to keep Crowdfire for unfollowing, because you need to be able to keep that managed. I usually look to 100 to 200 follows a day. When I was learning how to do this, the person who did it said, I follow them one day, I go to my app, my Crowdfire app the next day, and I unfollow all the people who didn't follow me the day before. Now, I know the people I'm working with are mums and grandparents, usually, and people who have got busy lives. They're not checking their Twitter every day. So I usually only unfollow once a week. And I usually do it because I'm in Australia. I can be up to 17 hours ahead of the east coast of the States, for example. So I usually do it on Tuesday morning. Because people...
So maybe you should hire someone to have you follow people for you in Australia.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said maybe we should find people in Australia to help us build our Twitter following because we're over here and you're over there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have an advantage. I'm a little bit ahead of time.
Here's my question. Does this work for any target market? Okay, let's say, because not everybody here, like Tom's doing branding websites and I'm doing video stuff. So should I follow a lot of people?
I just want to talk briefly about a niche markets. And actually, I have to be honest, this took me a little time to get my head around it. But sit down and work out who's your customer. And don't just say, so for example, I write children's books and I want to market my children's books to grandparents who love reading and want to share my books with their grandchildren. So, but grandparents is still too big a wider market. So I started thinking about it, and I really need grandparents, I think age between 55 to 70, who are probably more likely women, and who have got in a pretty particular socio-economic background. And at the moment, I'm targeting the more wealthier areas of the United States. Now, so can you see I've gone from grandparents to a particular age, to a gender, down to an area, and an income and an area. That's probably still too wide for a lot of people. It's better if you can target down to a few thousand people and meet their needs. That may be all you need to do to make a really nice income online. Don't go for the shotgun or the confetti effect where you try to market to everybody. And the perfect example is a guy I was training under said he used to do these webinars, and he'd say and he's always a website developer, and he would say, who do you market to? And of course the answer nearly was, everyone needs a website, so they're all my customers. And he said one day he got tripped up because the gentleman in the audience turned around and said, I market my websites to dentists. And he went, what? He said dentists, and particularly in the Sydney area. And he went, you only market to dentists in Sydney. Now Sydney's the biggest city in Australia, but it's nothing obviously compared to the size of the cities in Europe and the States. And he said, he said I was lost. I did the scatter marketing. I was trying to get everyone, and then I picked up a dentist. We created a really awesome website for him. So we marketed to other dentists. He said he thought it would last a year, and I think it was something like 7 years later. All they do is specialize and market websites to dentists.
Yeah, and that's actually something I've been talking about people for a while, because the problem is we started with a really, really broad idea, and I said, I need to work on my target market and see who do I really want to help, and then break it down, and then break it more down. It's the same on Twitter here. Like when I'm following people, I want to find someone who is in video, to have a good description and what type of videos are they doing. Are they doing what I would call like education, entertainment, or something in between? And then follow 100 of those people a day, and then maybe have another account for my personal development and follow 100 of those people a day, and then retweet some of their stuff. That's really what I'm seeing to be a concrete strategy.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Okay, like me, I work full time, and so my time is limited to when I come home, and I'm trying to, do things around the house, and then get myself dinner, and then get time into work on my stuff. And so I've used some automated things to put tweets out or posts out on Facebook and things like that. Also, do you do anything like that? Do you, have you found anything that is good? But because like I said, I know there are lots of good programs out there. I've looked into a few, but yet right now I'm somebody who's on a very, very, very limited budget.
I am too, and I'm very time poor. So what I did originally do is I used Hootsuite, and you can automatically tweet about 300 posts a day. It's probably too many anyway. But you have to put each one in, so that was laborious. And then somebody put an Excel document together for me, and all I had to do was actually, all the formulas were there, and I changed the dates and cut and paste that into the actual document. But what the mistake I was making is the tweets I was putting in were, go and have a look at my book, buy my stuff, book tweets. nobody cares, right? Nobody really cares. I'm sorry. I was asking people to marry me. Oh, look at me. So what I've done is I can't encourage you anymore that you need to work on to WordPress if you're not already using WordPress. The reason I say that is because of all the plugins and options. So I've spoken about the websites I have. I want to cover this really quickly, but I really think this needs an entire session on its own. What I do is I have a plugin on my WordPress accounts, all of my blogs, and what it does is it retweets my posts that are over 30 days old. This is the option I put in, and it will go through and it will share them, and they get put onto Facebook pages, and they get put onto my Twitter pages, my Twitter feed, sorry, and they're articles. So I'm sharing free information, whether it's about how to get a child to read, how to get your dog to stay in the car with
Fran had a question real quick.
So, yeah.
Yes, Susan, I did want to interrupt because you were putting out such good information. I was wondering, when you had a new follower, I get a couple messages a week that I have a new follower on Twitter. Do you have a canned response, an initial response that you send back to them, or do you ask them questions of why do you follow me, or how do you respond?
I have a direct message, even though a lot of people hate it, and is that if you've just followed me, you'll get it.
Okay, I might adapt that and use it myself.
Oh, absolutely. So this is it. I don't know who these people are. These are people who followed me. So thanks Twitter for it's quite long. That picture there is because that's my website, and it begins now. Here's a tip: when someone goes through their direct messages, all they see are the top 2 lines. Okay, so don't waste time with that. And you'll see on the screen now, there's a guy, here we go, Douglas Crowe, and teaching children to read is important, right? I write articles to help ordinary people teach their children and grandchildren how to fall in love with books, and that's it. That's all. And so you need to use those 2 lines really, really cleverly, because I get hundreds of followers a day, and I zip down like this, and I go bang, bang, bang. I look for the blue highlight, which means I haven't read it. But you need to use that, and then they can click on it, and I tell a story, which is one of my favorite stories about how you can make a difference by one.
This is the message you sent me.
Yeah,
it was really good, and I was like, yeah, you can write for us, absolutely. I didn't even second guess it. Yep, you can write on our website.
Susan, I have a question for you.
Sure.